the island of Envaitenet is called the island of no return or simply irrevocable by the locals of the Turkana tribe. For a long time, a lot of inexplicable history has been walking around what is not attributed to this island. The vast majority of stories are associated with the mysterious disappearance of people. One would definitely think that this should be pretty easy to solve this mystery in this era. All it involves is a party to travel to the area and try to suss out history of the place. Right. This is one of those times I wish I had won a lottery. It would be well worth resolving this mystery. Okay, now let's check the mystery. This is Krishnendu Nair. Envaitenet Island is a small, beautiful and a volcanic island in Kenya and is home to many dangerous animals including crocodiles and poisonous snakes. The legend of the Kenyan island of Envaitenet is one of those cases which utterly intrigues but which is frustratingly lacking in detail. The small island is situated in Kenya's huge lake Turkana, also known as Lake Rudolph, which is named after a crown prince of Austria, and in the language of a local tribe, Envaitenet means no return. People who planned an expedition to the island never returned back. Don't think the inhabitants over there might have harmed the expeditors. The island is abandoned. Then how is it possible? There are many mysteries revolving around the island. Aboriginal people say that long ago, slave traders from Sudan often came to this region. One family decided to hide on the island. Nobody saw them again. Moreover, the people who went in search of them also disappeared. Many people think that they have become victims of island cobras or crocodiles. Next story is, years ago, the island was inhabited by many families. For various purposes, they used to visit the mainland. Suddenly one day, the islanders from Envaitenet stopped visiting the mainland. Curious mainlanders decided to find the reason behind it. They were astonished to see the island was completely deserted with no traces of human beings. The place was inhabited by aquatic organisms, birds and fauna. They were so frightened, without wasting any seconds, they returned back to their land. Animals are unlikely to be the reason for the disappearance of people. Another inexplicable case speaks in their defense. Years later, in 1935, an explorer, Vivian Fuchs, accompanied two scientists called Martin Schefflin and Bill Dyson to the island. Both the scientists entered the island and used to indicate their presence by lighting a lamp on every evening. Suddenly, after 5 days, the signal stopped. Worried, Vivian visited the island, but he could not find any traces of his friends there. A flight was also flown above the island, but to surprise, the plane never returned back and no remains of it were found. There was no sign of the men on island also. The story goes that the inhabitants of Envaitenet frequently came to the mainland to trade goods, but then one day, inexplicably, they stopped. Concerned, two local men decided to travel to the island to find out what had happened. When they got there, they found the place completely abandoned. All they found were burnt-out huts and decaying fish. The two men were quite understandably rather freaked out by all this and returned to the mainland, knowing that they would never go back there. It has been suggested that sometimes underground gas escapes from the depths of the lake. He had an intoxicating effect on the brain and forced a person to commit rash actions. For example, go swimming in lake. Perhaps having used up their food supply, sailed on a boat to shore but drowned. Therefore, no trace of them was found on the island. The series of strange disappearances did not end with the disappearance of scientists. Several years after the disappearance of the scientists, several families of the Elmola tribe landed on the island. They decided to hide here from bloodthirsty neighbors from the Samburu tribe. They settled down quite tolerably well, brought in goats, built huts and fished. Sometimes they sailed to the mainland to visit relatives or to exchange goods. But after a while, the islanders stopped appearing on the shore. Neighbors and relatives sent people to the island. They did not find a single person. The lifeless village remained untouched, no sign of attack or struggle, no sign of a hasty evacuation, nothing. The small population disappeared without a trace. The Samburu tribe claims that the snakes on the island are the spirits of deceased ancestors. They still hunt the Elmolo tribe. Village huts are still on the island, but no one is in a hurry to populate them. In addition, there are many completely ridiculous theories ranging from aliens and ending with a mysterious submarine. people with which constantly destroy visitors to the island. It is hardly worth paying attention to all this.